So Nigerians may not have like a clear record or a clear file to show that depression is real, but for me, I think depression is realer than the word real. It's like the devil that creeps into your head, sleeps in your bed, and becomes a very knife that cuts your throat. Pardon my French, but depression is really, really real, and people don't get to talk about it because they feel it's some sort of weakness. Most people that die from depression do not have a choice, but because their environment does not permit them. I think depression is like one of the darkest mindsets and one of the craziest things to ever happen to anyone. If you've ever gone through that phase, you understand how it feels like to probably think of suicide or anything. Or if you've lost someone to depression, you understand how painful it can be, how it strikes your heart like thunder every time you think about them, that they lost themselves to self. They weren't killed, they killed themselves. So it's something you have to deal with for a lifetime. So it hurts.
You know, for a moment there, I was flowing with you and I was agreeing. But the moment you said they weren't killed, they killed themselves, that threw me off the ride that you're taking us on, right? Because with depression, a lot of times, yes, there's a feeling of numbness. There's a feeling of not wanting to move on. There's a feeling of not recognizing the place that you're in and not really wanting to accept it. You want more, you don't know what you want. It's a black hole, basically. And what aggravates depression is not even having someone to talk to. The people around you, they're the ones that will kill you eventually. Because the thing with depression is, sometimes, no matter how hard the people around you try to get in, there's a wall, there's a fence. It's very hard to let down that fence and let someone in. And then there's also a case of the kind of society we live in, right? When you're not even saying it, when you're going through something, the thing that people say, no brainer, is get over it, be strong. In the case of men, you're a man, why are you crying? Imagine someone saying that he lost a mother and he didn't shed a tear. Not because he didn't feel the pain of losing a mother, but because society will perceive him as weak if he cries.
Now, I am left the willpower. Like I often tell my friends that the greatest thing life has given you is choice. So making a choice is a choice, and not making a choice is still a choice. So you're never choiceless in life. So we've been there before. Anyone who's been there before realize that it takes more than just strength to talk. It takes even greater strength to find someone to listen.
Of course.
But it's still a choice to talk about it. Look at Anthony Bourdain, for example. Everyone feels, oh, this guy's got a successful career. And
you know what was most depressing about Anthony Bourdain? There was no pattern. There's usually a pattern to depression.
Sorry, what exactly my point? What are you trying to say?
There should have been signs.
Yeah,
with a lot of people,
you can't trace.
You have the withdrawal
with a lot
phase.
of people that have gone through depression, right? Someone would have noticed.
Yeah. There's
Maybe at
always a
work, there's a disconnect.
There's always a withdrawal.
Maybe relationship.
Sorry.
There is usually a disconnect.
Sorry.
But this came as a shock. Even his closest friends.
Not with
Sorry,
a person. Not with a person you have built over the years to be on TV, on A.
I know that with most of people, we put up a face.
That's
right?
exactly my
And
point.
live
Exactly
with
my
it.
point. Okay, I was seeing a movie sometimes last 2 weeks. Now, this girl is always on social media, Snapchat, Instagram, and all the likes. She's putting up her pictures up. But at the end of it all, she's back into her confines. She's thinking. She's lonely. So you're telling me, what from what you say, from what you said now is, there is always a face to depression. Someone would notice. Is that what you're saying?
There's a pattern. Before it gets to the point of suicide, someone ought to have noticed.
But for instance now, for a lady, I'm making reference back to the movie now, for a lady who is always putting up happy faces on social media, and isn't giving you that pattern you are saying now, and eventually commits suicide, whereas no one had noticed before the suicide happened. Are you getting my point? Now, are you saying she has not been depressed?
No,
we're
of
not
course
saying
not.
that.
You know, personality matters, right? We all have different personalities. Look at, let me use Mocheda for example. Mocheda just came out and admitted to being depressed for, I think she said she was depressed for almost a year, right? Or more. So when we're looking at Mocheda from the persona of fans and the kind of person that she is, Mocheda is a fashionista. She's beautiful. She's amazing. She sings well. So looking at Mocheda from outside, I'm not a close friend, right? But I observed as a fan that there was a phase where I wasn't hearing music from Mocheda.
And when she did a song, she did a very sober song.
Hold on.
She did a really sober song.
But hold on. And then there's the case of let's not ignore family. A friend of mine once said that whenever his dad, like with different characters in the house, whenever his dad observes maybe his brother, who's usually lively, comes back home and he's just seated, he's not going out on a Friday night, and dad is like, oh dude, why you not going out? Aren't you going clubbing tonight? And boy is like, nope, I'm not going. The dad gets worried and he's like, do you need to see a doctor? What is wrong with you? Is there something bothering you? Why? Because there has been a change
is already
in his
there. It
usual
comes with depression.
behavior.
There's usually a withdrawal symptom. Okay, so I had a friend. I'll say I had a friend. I won't say I have a friend because it's really, really that close, and I just decided to use the past tense. And I noticed some changes in his attitude. The fact that you call him and he gives you the one word reply, someone that was always chatty and lively. I got scared until I got a mail that actually was some sort of a suicide note. But I knew there was a trail.
But in the case where I decide not to show my emotions,
people are
and I'm
actually.
depressed.
There are people who are perfected.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So some people,
some people wear it.
some people are good
I don't
with pseudo
think- I don't
realities
call
actually,
it-
but it still
I don't
shows.
call it covering. I call it running. Because with depression, you say it's yourself fighting yourself. So you would not want to be stuck with yourself. So some people tend to go out more. Just don't want to be alone and let those thoughts cloud your mind and keep you trapped and claustrophobic. So you're always outside, you're always laughing. I don't think depressed people are people that are quiet. Because there was a day my brother saw somebody that was really quiet and I was like, are you depressed? Why are you always calm? But it's not that quiet person. It's that person that is always laughing. It's that person that is always playing around. So I think we owe ourselves the responsibility to always look at people. This thing people say about when you laugh with your eyes, your whole face. There was a day a girl was talking to me. She was smiling, but I knew there was something wrong with her because I tend to study people a lot more these days. I'm trying to be careful. So she was sad about something, but she was trying to put up a happy face to me. But not everybody is going to take the time to notice that.
To
Some people are
understand.
just going to. So I think we should be more careful. Because there was a time that, I don't know, I was going through a phase and my mother noticed it. I was shocked because we're in a society where your life is built with a script. So immediately you're born, this is what you should do. So you don't even know if you should express yourself. Because
If you're allowed to express
if you're
yourself.
allowed to. So that's why at the end of the day, people feel like the only thing they've got is freedom, and that's what they chase away from reality.
You know, when you talked about you're lucky your mother noticed. So I was watching this thing. There's this thing that Jada Pinkett Smith does, Red Table Talk, with her daughter, right? Willow Smith. And did you know that Willow was depressed
And she had
at the age of 10?
10.
At the time when she did that, I whip my hair back and forth. Yeah? And then she was
had to
cutting
cut herself.
herself. Because, so we cutting herself, right? You know, depression is pain. But it's not physical.
You can't reach it.
So you
That's the
can't
problem.
reach it and see it. You can't feel the pain, but you're feeling the pain in your heart.
You're
So
looking for it.
you're looking for the pain. So she felt like the most reasonable thing to do is to cut herself and know
And
that
let
she's
it out.
going through
And
physical
see the
pain, to be able to really understand the pain that she was going through. In the case of Willow Smith, right, a child of 10 being depressed and even getting to the point of cutting herself, and guess what? Her mother did not notice. Her mother never knew about it until that Red Table Talk, and she came out and said, Mom, I was depressed for over a year. during the time when she was so successful, and you would have thought that's every child's dream, right? Willow Smith is living the dream. Her parents are like Hollywood royalty. So you're wondering what is depressing this child.
Just like having blue ivy get depressed,
So it's really a case of whenever you ask someone, "Hi, how are you?" Make sure you mean it. Don't ask how are you and walk away. Because I've been in situations.
When was the last time you asked how were you and you actually meant
that is where I'm taking you to. Do you know that there was a time, right, that I was depressed, and then someone legit asked me, "How are you?" I swear I wanted to. At that moment, I felt like pouring out my heart to that person, because I wanted to talk. There are moments, if you've been at a horrible place, if you've been in a horrible place, you would know where I'm coming from. There are moments when you're just really down and you want to talk to someone, and then someone just says, "How are you?" And then you're like, "Well, actually," and then you just observe that the person is so uninterested. It's horrible. So sometimes just you can even start with the people closest to you. Call once in a while and really mean it when you say, "How are you?"
What you just said reminded me of one of my aunties. This shouldn't be on camera, but though I'll say it. So she was going through marital struggles at that point, and she had to seek asylum in the Gambia. And she came home and she was like, her favorite cousin did something, called her that day and didn't know what he did to save her life.
Aww.
I'm like, wow, what would have happened? She said, so I was sitting on the floor in my room and I was thinking of, okay, so what would I tell my father? He was a civil servant all his life. He raised me with his peanut money. My mom was also a civil servant. So how am I going to go through this? And then she gets this call. Hi, I just called to disturb you.
Aww.
And said that broke the thought flow of
course.
Maybe life is just not ready for me, or maybe I'm not ready for life.
Or maybe nobody cares about me.
And that saved her. So I'm like, sometimes you could just stretch a little courtesy to him. It goes a long way.
Exactly.
Because we all have a way of building charades. We all have a way of building pseudo-realities. We do it perfectly. That's what we do best. That's how we tend to fight and present ourselves to the world, because that's what people want to see. So because I look gloom doesn't mean I'm sad, or because I look bubbly doesn't mean I'm happy. Right? So we all have a way of expressing ourselves.
There's this thing I started doing as regards sharing your emotion. I learned how to tell my story and get someone else to tell the story. Because people will not open up to you if you don't open up.
Exactly.
And it's a very big risk.
True.
But it's all or nothing, because there's that point in your life where you just have to leave. You're just holding on to something. You just want to leave. Because there are things you have to remember. Because there's something my elder brother always does. He sees you on a normal day. He's always up on your case. He can just see you and hug you and kiss you. And you just feel alright. You just feel like, okay, I could go on for this person. So we should learn how to be more affectionate. And we should learn how to risk it. Take a risk before you get to that point.
And then I think
so people really reach out to you.
I think when you get depressed, you have to find a channel to express yourself. So depression is a thief. It's not just for your life. It's for your voice. It's for your identity. It's for everything you stand for. So it comes to take everything away from you. Find a channel. I started writing because I was in a dark phase of my life. I just wanted to get it out. I just wanted to talk about it. So if you could paint, if you could sing, even if it means breaking something,
Even if it means you stepping out, like taking yourself out.
just do something, express yourself.
That goes a long
Because
way.
the moment you lose your voice, you've lost 99% of your life. You've not just committed suicide yet, but you have killed yourself.
True.
So the moment you realize you're down, find a channel to express yourself. Don't bottle it up. Even if nobody's listening, just keep expressing yourself, because it will be there for the records that you gained your sanity because you found a part to express yourself. You found something to anchor your life on, and you made that thing worth the while to live for it and even die for it.
You guys find out where you are, your mom.
So really, this depression thing, it's about the person outside the fact that it's about the people around you, outside the fact that added advantage is that you have good people around you who listen to you. But personally, you have to choose to walk out of the depressed state. you have to decide to do certain things that is going to help you personally. That is to people that are depressed. You have to walk out, maybe talk to someone, maybe do something, but it's just a matter of choice. It's just a matter of choice, you deciding to do what's right for yourself. Because now before you make that choice, you have to look at, is this guy worth saving? That means you believe in yourself. What am I worth? Am I worth saving? It's very hard. It's very hard to place a person to yourself back.
True.
But then just look at yourself as someone worth saving. Then go for it.
Totally agree.
Okay, for me, basically, I think it all boils down to expressing yourself. So it all boils down to expressing yourself. So no matter the emotions, no matter how you feel, you might not even be depressed. It goes a long way for you to express yourself. You might necessarily not need to talk to someone. Okay, for me, basically, whenever I am pissed, I just try and take a stroll,
Okay.
just to clear my head.
Okay, that's
It goes it helps a lot. Do you understand? So, to cut the whole long story short, you are depressed, you are not depressed, expressing yourself, no matter where you find yourself, will definitely help.
To everyone depressed out there, the world will never believe in you, so don't fool yourself that they will believe in you. You have to believe in yourself.
I'm gonna put camera on me. I think.
You are the first market that will buy your commodity, so you have to make it count. Like the ticking of the clock, make your life count. You don't have to kill yourself. Your life is worth the while.
As you heard from my colleagues, basically the take home from here is express yourself, right? Show love, show that you care, and then choose to live. Choose to live your life. It is worth it. And most of all, guys, there are organizations out there, there are channels to help you through this. At the moment when you choose to leave, right, there's an organization that I've noticed recently. It's called MANI, Mentally Aware Nigeria Initiative. It's basically a group of volunteers, a group of people that have gone through things, that have gone through terrible things in their life, horrible things, experienced death of a close relative, basically gone through depression and are willing to make a change and live their life.